Morning, you lovely lot. It's Nick from Claret and Booze. I hope you're all well. This is a post-match reaction. It's the day after I was at the game. I didn't get home till 1 in the morning. There's no way I was recording a video then. As always, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and drop a like on the video, most importantly, because it does really help us. So we drew 1-1 away at Brighton. I would definitely have taken the point before the game. I was expecting us to get beat, if I'm being honest. I was sort of kidding myself, thinking that we could get something out of that game. Well, not kidding myself, as it turned out, but yeah, it was a strange game. First of all, I'm going to do this in two stages. I'm going to talk about the game in a minute. Anybody that, like me, is suffering with a little bit of disillusionment about West Ham losing our identity, get yourself to an away game. Get yourself to an away game. Honestly, don't go over the London Stadium if you're feeling like that, because it will just compound it. It makes you more miserable. It makes us feel even more lost, like we've lost it completely. Go away. Any away game. I mean, that was little old Bournemouth. What, they got 11,000 capacity over there? Just a brilliant day out, you know, and West Ham fans are the bollocks. We really are. We had fun over there. We'd have had fun if we'd have lost that game. If they'd have scored late on and we'd have lost 2-1. Would have had a good day. And that is, I think, sometimes a difference with me when I'm reviewing a game that I'm watching on the box versus people that have been to the game. They've had a great day out. Honestly, if you want to get that West Ham feel, you know, that old school feel that we used to get when we was going over Upton Park, get yourself to an away game. It's still there. It's still there. Just not at home, sadly. Brilliant. Hello to everyone that I met as well. I can't remember half your names. I can't. I'd had a few drinks. Avram, top man. You was going to give me a jump start. I did. My car didn't start, so it died. I don't know why. There wasn't a light left on or anything, but it wouldn't turn over. But luckily, a lovely chap, Bournemouth fan, stopped and gave me a jump start within 10 minutes. So I did manage to get home in the end. I thought it was going to end up stuck down there. Although there's worse places to be stuck. I've got to be honest. Not a bad area. Not a bad area. Right, the football. Starting lineup. I weren't pleased that Jimmy had been dropped. I wasn't pleased that he'd gone with the same midfield of Alvarez, Souček in particular, and Soler. I weren't happy with that. So I was a bit frustrated at the start. And it was, I've heard a lot of people say, so this is the thing, you do see a different game when you're there versus when you watch it on the box. I always feel like I can analyse a game better when I've watched it on telly. Because you've just got a single perspective when you're in the ground. But I felt the first half was boring. I did. We had a lot of the ball, and we seemed to be controlling large portions of it in our own half. Our possession versus their possession, because we had 49% to their 51% overall. But the lion's share of our possession is in our own half, passing between our centre-backs and our goalkeeper and our deep line midfielder, just sort of reverse inverted triangles going backwards, working it back to someone that eventually hoofs it forward. But that is, they're muddied possession stats. You saw it clearly in that game yesterday. It's all about controlling the game. Soler, I found, was slowing the game down particularly. Now, I know he isn't that type of player, so it's only under instruction, but it just felt like whenever the ball got to somebody that had room in front of them to drive with the ball or something like that, they'd stop, they'd check that run, they'd go sideways, they'd go backwards, and it was all about controlling the tempo of the game, making it slow, because Bournemouth are quick, obviously. And look, I suppose you could say it worked, but I wasn't angry. I was happy that it was 0-0 at half time. I thought it was lucky to be 0-0. We had a few chances, but so did they. They had a couple of absolute sitters that they missed. Fabianski was just absolutely phenomenal. Again, kept us in that game, you know. And in the second half, it was quite odd. He came out with the same team. He didn't make any changes, which, again, I could understand, because when you look at what Bournemouth have done recently this season, you know, they're sixth in the table. They've got some really big scalps, particularly at home. They're very good because it's a very small, sort of tight pitch. It's never going to be an easy place to go. They're going to get chances, but they got a lot. They got a lot of chances. 29 attempts on goal. I think that's their record this season. They had 9 on target. 9 on target versus our 2 or 3, whatever it was. Yeah, very, very, very strange game. It was a little bit like, it felt like the reverse of the Leicester game, where we was all over them and they went and nicked it. It did feel to me like we nicked a point, although we got the late goal and then they went and got a wonderful free kick at the end. But I know I'm jumping about all over the place. But he brought on Fulkrug on about 50 minutes. I've seen people say they thought Fulkrug had a good game. I didn't see that. I mean, you bring Fulkrug on, we was punting balls to him that he wasn't winning. He's a big lump. I don't remember him winning many knock-ons or flick-ons or with a defender to his back, sort of winning that battle. And I don't. It could have been quality of delivery into him. I don't know. But no, I didn't see too much. I thought Kudus was really, really lively, but being ignored for large portions of it. That we weren't getting the ball to him enough. But even he at times had the opportunity to drive with the ball. You know what his instincts are. His instincts are to go forward, and he didn't. He stops, he checks his run, passes sideways. Very annoying. Very annoying. Our build-up play is so slow. It's beyond frustrating. There are going to be some positives in this, all right? So bear with me. But what we did see, we saw a good level of commitment from the players. I don't like the game plan. I don't like the style. I don't like the tactics. I don't. It's really not for me. That is defensive, possession-based football. When you look at what Bournemouth do, when they have the ball, it's in our half. They're trying to score. They're trying to get forward. They're pinning us back. They're not letting us out. They're not taking stupid fucking shots from 30 yards, relieving the pressure from us, because they don't do that. They make good decisions in the final third. They just, once they've got you back, they keep you there, for 3, 4, 5 minutes. You don't get out. That's what Bournemouth do. It's what they're really good at, particularly later in games. We're far more wasteful and clueless when it comes to sort of crafting something from open play. We rely on a little bit of individual brilliance. But we did eventually get a goal. Well, before the goal, actually, he made some changes, didn't he? So what were the changes? So he took off Kudus for Somerville, which is a like for like. I was a bit surprised by that because I thought Souček and Alvarez were doing fuck all. I know he hooked Alvarez. But I just didn't think they were doing anything. We were getting bypassed in midfield again. I've seen some people say Alvarez had his best game. I didn't see it, and I'm an Alvarez fan. I love Alvarez. I didn't see him have a good game. I thought he was sloppy. And Souček, I don't know. Tell me what he did. Again, just tell me what he does. I don't know what he does. But look, Kudus for Somerville, you could say like for like, that's fine. A really exciting one for me, and this will start to win people over, irrespective of the frustration with the tactics and everything else. He brought on Ollie Scholes. I like that. I really, really did. And it wasn't like a David Moyes introduction of a youth player when we're 3-1 up in the Europa and the game's a dead rubber and it don't matter. He brought him on at 0-0 in a real, important part of the game with 15 minutes left to go. He entrusted that player. That was different. It felt different. You saw him preparing him as he was coming onto the pitch. He was, Scholes had his arm around him. They was kind of, I don't know. It felt a little bit different in the dugout. It didn't feel so tetchy. It felt like there was a little bit more together to me this time. So I loved seeing Scholes introduced. And then we went and got our goal. So Wan-Bissaka's run down the right hand side, put in his usual shit cross, which got made into a good cross by a bloke who's waving to his mum in the crowd. Courtesy of Cundy on TalkSport, that was. It was high. It was his arm was above his shoulder, so that's a pen. I don't care what anyone says. I know that the deflection made it a better cross, and Fulkrug has to score. He's got to. Point blank range, 5 yards out. It's perfect for him. He's running onto the fucking thing. Do you know what I mean? It ain't like he's got to readjust himself. He's just absolute bullet header, but straight at the keeper. Anywhere else, that's a goal. Anywhere else on target. So he had to score that, but he didn't. And then they wind it back and they give the penalty. A VAR. They give the penalty. I think it was a pen. I would have felt hard done by, however, if it was me, purely because the deflection, it made it a good cross. So the handball gave us an opportunity to score, which we should have taken. I know that's not the rules. A handball's a handball. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, VAR decision. Takes ages. 3 minutes, 4 minutes. While that's happening, you got Bournemouth scuffing up the penalty spot, which was probably off camera. And Lucas Paqueta takes the penalty with his usual nonchalant technique. You know, the little staggered run. Just passes it into the net. Unbelievable. Kissing the badge. And do you know something? A really, really nice touch for me was running over to Lopetegui and giving him a cuddle. When you look at all the shit that's been happening lately, I told you about the story. It is an unconfirmed story, but Todibo weren't on the bench, was he? He weren't. That there's some players in the camp now. So you've got Bowen, it looks like Paqueta, maybe some others that are starting to back Lopetegui, and maybe there's some that are kicking off that are being ostracised a little bit. So maybe we're getting some solidarity from within. I don't know. This could build. It could improve. It could if you've got togetherness as a team unit. Ignore the shit tactics. Ignore the same selection and everything else. If you've got togetherness and you've got effort and the team are behind the manager, then we could start to see improved performances and improved results. We could do. And I thought that was a really, really good, classy touch from Paqueta. He ran the whole distance from the players, from the penalty spot. He ran over to Loppe. I thought that was a nice touch, you know. I'm not a Loppe fan, but I do feel sorry for him for how this has gone for him. Although it is all his fault because he picks fucking the wrong players and puts them in the wrong position. But no, it was a good touch. And Paqueta, I've seen some people sort of have a dig at him. I thought he was absolutely mustard yesterday. Some of his touches and his flicks and his crosses in the second half, where he's run down the left wing and he's done that no-look cross to Bowen, who just completely missed. I don't know what he did. You know, if you want that cross to go to anyone, it was like a cutback cross. And Bowen's run onto it and just completely swung his leg at it and missed it, his left foot. Some of the stuff he did was beautiful. Yes, there are going to be occasions where you're going to go, oh no, Lucas, what you're doing. People mistake his style of football and his demeanour as a person for being lazy and not caring. It's just the way he is. He's casual. He's look at the way he took a penalty. The geezer's fun. He don't panic. He just loves football. I love him. He's still my favourite player. He's got his picture back on the wall. Just got to hang it properly. No, it was a brilliant moment. That was. It was a wonderful moment. Very short-lived. Very short-lived because they went and got a free kick, silly challenge from Dinos. It was quite a long way out, though. That's got to be 26, 27 yards out. So it ain't like it's right outside the box, but still a stupid challenge that late in the game. And what a free kick. Is it you now or Unai, whatever his fucking name is? But what a perler. You won't see a better free kick all season. I mean, my son who was standing next to me was going, Fabs, get your near post, get your near. He did leave a lot of the goal open. He did. And the bloke hit it. It was frustrating. But then for the rest of the game, you know, Iriola's switching it up the whole time. He's going for the win. They make a habit, Bournemouth, of winning games late on. They make a habit of winning games late on. And you can see why. Like I said, when they get the intensity going and the pressure, they keep you penned in, pegged back. You can't get out. So it's no surprise that those goals do come. How they didn't score from open play, I've got no clue. Fabianski did have a great game, but some of their finishing was shocking. Was like Fulkrug's, straight at the keeper. So were theirs, a lot of them. You know, they had a couple in the first half, and there was loads in the second half. How they did not score from open play, I don't know. But you take it. You take the draw. You take the point. Yeah, we did not deserve to win that in any way, shape, or form. I don't feel like we robbed them for a point, though, if that makes sense. I don't feel like we've robbed them for a point because we did have chances also. So although they made a ridiculous amount of chances, they are a team in form. They are at home. We are a team sort of semi in crisis at the moment, still trying to find our feet. Yeah, you've got to take the point, and I think it was a well-deserved, well-earned point in the end. I don't think that we were helped tactically by Loppe switching to what looked like a back five. I don't think that helped us. So he did go a little bit defensive. But the thing is, when he went to a back five, we then went and scored. So it's a bit difficult to pull him apart on that when we scored after he made those changes. He did then go on and make another change, and we saw Casey introduced. So at the end of the game, again, 1-1, game's in the balance. We've got Bournemouth just pouring at us, you know. Player just chance after chance after chance, wave after wave of attack, and he introduces Casey, you know, in a critical part of the game. He entrusts another youth player. We ended up with 2 on the pitch. So no, look, for me, I'm not happy with the style of play. I weren't happy with the selection. I was happy with the effort from the players. I'm happy with a point. We've got to improve against Brighton. Brighton have now lost 4 on the bounce, haven't they? We've got to improve. We're still not playing well enough when you consider the personnel that we've got. I thought it was a dull game. If I'd have been watching that at home and I weren't at the game, I would have been bored stiff. And I know I would have been. I would have been bored out of my fucking mind watching that from home. But being at the game, the atmosphere was brilliant. We was having some good banter with, taking the piss out of their drummer. Their one-man drummer. It was good. It was good. Anyway, look, I'm going to go now because my dog's ruining my stream as usual. He's barking away. So look, if you ain't already, please subscribe, drop a like on the video. I'm going to go and kick my dog up the bollocks. Come on, you irons.